That IP address can change up to 3 times a year, and all you do is you hit the up button and it gives you the new IP address. Sweet.
Thanks, man.
Easy enough. That's what I get for not bringing your cameras down. Well, I told Sam, it was Sam Lawler, I told Sam, he's my TA, I'm like, Sam, we're cleaning this stuff up. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, so don't get, there's 2 cameras in there. So I said, one, he didn't get it. So I opened my desk and everything was just in a huge pile underneath my sink. And I'm like, okay, he missed the whole, bring that one to the other. And I can't blame him. I didn't, he's my TA for blocking that class. So I'm trying to do it. Thank you for that.
Good evening. Welcome to our Music in Our Schools Month concert. My name is Michael Jeffrey, and I'm the choir director for Pine Island Schools. Tonight's concert celebrates the privilege of including music in our public schools in the United States. Many countries around the world reserve music for outside of school hours, but music has been a part of our school day since Boston Public Schools included it in the early 1800s, nearly 200 years ago. Making music together stimulates our brains, challenges us, gets us moving, develops teamwork, and teaches us a skill that we can use throughout our entire lives. My grandfather was able to take joy in singing long after Alzheimer's had taken his ability to do many other activities. So thank you for supporting your children's participation in music and our music program here in Pine Island. This evening, our concert choir, wind ensemble, and symphony orchestra are excited to share music we performed last Friday for large group music contest. The students standing before you have been working hard since our winter concert to master their music, and that work has paid off. Concert choir earned a superior rating, performing Category 1 music. Category 1 is the hardest category, and our choir was the only group to perform music from it out of all of the choirs and instrumental groups this year. The music they performed is not easy, and I'm proud of everything this group has accomplished. Our clinician in February commented that he was very impressed with the culture of work ethic that we have here in Pine Island. He commented that these students are responsive, they work hard, and they want to get better. And I nodded, because I get to work with them every day. Our first piece for you this evening is Danny Boy, an Irish folk song that every singer should perform at least once. It tells the story of someone visiting a grave. There's disagreement over who exactly these individuals are and what the relationship is. Some people think it could be a mother and a son, or others, a husband and a wife. But regardless, the theme is that visiting the grave makes it a warmer place as love extends past the threshold of love and death. Next, we'll sing a piece called J'entends le moulin. J'entends le moulin is a French folk song that tells the whimsical story of a meeting at a windmill over pigeon pies. The story is at times a little silly and illogical because it was written as a game of rhymes where every line has to rhyme with temps of j'entends. The piece is very complex logistically, and there's a lot going on. You'll hear the sounds of the windmill in the tick-tick-tick-ticks, and the clapping and the snaps of the choir. I also need to give a special shout out to Elise Bombaro, our pianist, who has spent many long hours practicing extra for this piece, as the piano part is basically a piano concerto. It's notorious in choir pianist circles as one of the most difficult accompaniments, so we're lucky to have a pianist of Miss Elise's caliber helping us out. Please enjoy our music.
Pipes the first song is called Home. It was not played at contest last week, but it's just kind of our warm-up and our way of reminding ourselves that home is with your family, but this is also home with our family here. These students, I've spent a lot of hours in the last couple of weeks with these students. There are so many of these students that are involved with not just music, but also theater, and now they're starting sports, and it's crazy time, and they work so hard at what they do. The next three pieces have stories, and I like songs that have stories and tell things because it's easier to connect to the music and make the music really feel. So the next piece is called Heroes Among Us. In 2018, a very dear friend of mine, the band director at Hayfield High School, had a massive heart attack and died in the morning before he went to school. And just like this is home and we're family and we're close, band directors are also generally pretty close to each other, especially those of us that teach in the same area. And it was heartbreaking when I found out that Dennis had passed away. And the other people, the other band directors in our conference, we all got together and we said, we need to commission a piece of music for Dennis. Dennis was a tuba player. And so, as tuba players go, he loved marches. So that was what was going to be written, was a march for Dennis. Dennis was also, he was a jokester. His laugh was amazing. But on top of playing tuba, his other passion that kind of came late in his life was riding bicycle. And he would ride miles. Like, he was one of those people who rode across Iowa. I can't remember what that's called, but you know what I'm talking about. He rode from Hayfield to Eau Claire. Like, that's crazy, right? So the composer, his name is Lane Powell, and he's from Minnesota, southeast Minnesota. And he took a lot of the ideas that we gave him about what reminded us of Dennis. He wrote a march. You will hear a little bit of his favorite hymn in the song, Amazing Grace. And you will also hear a tribute to a bicycle. Now, you might miss it, so I'm going to let the person who plays this instrument demonstrate and hold it really high. In the percussion section, and if you look real close, it even blinks, because that's all Walmart had, was blinking lights. So this piece, every time I play it, it's a special place in my heart for it, because I miss Dennis a lot. He was a good friend of mine. And I hope that the students feel a little bit of him in there too. Meanwhile, it's a fun song. So here we go, Heroes Among Us. The next piece, Shenandoah, is one of my favorite melodies ever. It's a folk song, and the Shenandoah Valley and the Shenandoah River are in Virginia. And as folk songs go, we don't always know where they came from or who wrote them or anything like that. And sometimes even the story behind them is a little bit questionable. This one it's a love story, we know that, but we don't know exactly what it's about. But the most popular is that there was an early settler that fell in love with a native woman. And so this is their love story. And in my opinion, this is a great way to get high school students to get in touch with their soft side and really feel music and feel the emotion of a slow, beautiful love song. Our last piece is called Of Endless Miles and Empty Rafts. I actually found this piece last year. We read it for a day or two, and then I went, yeah, we're not going to learn this enough this year, so we'll save it for next year, because it was last spring. And so all summer and all fall, I was like, yep, this is the one we're going to do for contest. So this one also has a story. We talked in our class about how pretty much everybody has relations, descendants, ancestors that came from somewhere else. And so we talked about just that's just how we are. And we also talked about that probably the only person that's not true is our foreign exchange student. She's from Latvia, and I think that's where she's always been from. Yes. So she is not an immigrant, but we have a country full of immigrants. This piece was not written to be political at all, but it was about the composer whose descendants came from south of the United States and came to the United States to make a better life, and therefore the composer had a better life. And they remember on the shores of Florida seeing empty rafts washed up onto shore. And it got them thinking about who were the people that were on the rafts. And probably they didn't make it. But holy moly, they had the courage and determination to leave their country, probably because it was war-torn, or they were poor, or they just wanted to make a better life. And they got themselves and their families on some rickety old raft and went in the ocean. Like, we live by lakes. Like, I can't even imagine. That's crazy to me. Like, that they would do that. And so this piece is in homage to them, to those people that had that courage to leave their countries, even knowing that that they could die doing it. So the beginning of this piece is kind of the calm before they decide to go on their journey. But it also is a celebration. It's a celebration of having a new beginning if you need it. And I think we need to celebrate that in our world, and that it is important for us to welcome people. Whether you believe in anything about what's happening in the world today, or whether you are against it or for it, or whatever, it doesn't matter. We're human beings. And this piece is just celebrating human beings. Of endless miles and empty rafts.
I am Mr. Mish, I am the orchestra director here. And before we start, I just want to say, it's Music in Our Schools Month. And tonight you're getting to see 3/4 of our music staff here in Pine Island. And Mr. Jeffrey, Mrs. Hoppy, and myself. And there's one important, really important member who is not here tonight. And that's Mrs. Erickson, who teaches at the elementary school, at the K floor. Between the four of us, we have over 100 years of experience. That either means we're pretty good, or we're just old. Or we've survived. I don't know which you choose. But I'm kind of a little sad tonight because Mrs. Erickson's retiring again. And you've heard success from the choir, the band, you're going to hear it from the orchestra, I hope. But none of this would happen without what she does in the K4. She's an amazing teacher, and we're really going to miss her. And she's not going to be here at our concerts to hear this stuff. She gets to, work with some of my high school orchestra kids and see how they grow up. But I know she's not here, but could we just give her a round of applause? She teaches them all the skills to keep beats, to sing in tune, to hear in tune, to be able to walk, and then they get to do some dancing and movement and play instruments. And so tonight we're just going to show you from the orchestra side. We don't have a good story to tell like the band did or the choir, but we've just got dance music, which is just sort of fun. So our first piece is called the Libertango, which means the Liberty Tango, because the composer Astor Piazzolla felt like this piece was his way of freeing himself from having to write just dance music. He wanted to elevate it so that it had more meaning and more feeling, and that it was more of a legitimate art form, the tango. So this was kind of his first piece. And then after that, you're going to hear it's just one of my favorite pieces to teach, the Capriole Suite, which is a set of Renaissance dances that were collected by a French priest, and he had to keep it secret, so he used a different name for himself because the priest shouldn't be teaching about dancing and love songs and all this stuff. So he wrote this treaty. It's the first collection of choreography that we have written down. And then English composer, Peter Warlock, which that wasn't even his real name either, who really dug Renaissance music, decided to take some of these pieces that were collected and give them kind of a new twist. And when I say new, I mean this music is 99 years old. So to us in the orchestra world, that's new, but it's all relative, right? So you're going to hear Libertango and then Capriole Suite.